Welcome back to the Urban Playbook, where we bring you guys educational, information, and sports from an urban perspective. I'm Vincent Askew along with Kathy Rogers, and man, we're glad to be back. Kathy, talk to the people.
Hello, 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 our audience. We are here today. We have some updates. We have some new and exciting information we want to share with you. Sports, politics, you name it. We're here to talk about it. So I guess I'll get started again. As Vincent said, my name is Kathy. I hail from the great city of Paterson, New Jersey, and I will start off this conversation for today talking about the infamous Mr. P. Diddy Sean Combs. This week, the prosecution brought in another witness, should I say, the guy that goes by the name of Kid Cudi. He came in and he was explaining that his car got bombed. And my question I have is, did the bombing of his car lead or indicate racketeering? Are they able to connect the bombing of his car to a racketeering charge? So you say what, Vincent?
The bombing of his car to racketeering. First, they don't have any proof that Puffy bombed the car. We all think he did, but in the court of law, the fingerprints that they took off of because they cut the top of the sunroof or whatever, and the fingerprints were from a female. So I have to get the definition of racketeering before I can say that's a cause or a reason to convict him of that. And but no, they don't have any proof that he did it actually. So that's tough to say. What do you think?
Yeah, well, yeah, he didn't actually do it, but I think that they're trying to indicate that he hired someone to do it. But whoever's fingerprints is on the car, if they're able to identify that person and have him or her come in and testify, then that would solidify, racketeering. If that person, is any way connected to Puffy and was paid, then that's
Hmm.
what racketeering is.
That'd be
Racketeering is a criminal enterprise.
okay. That'll be
Racketeering is a
that'll be
criminal
tough.
enterprise.
Okay, okay. In court, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove in court. So
Right.
we may know it, and they may know it, and Kid Cudi or Cuddy, he may know it, but it's what you can prove actually in the court of law in order to get a conviction on Mr. Combs.
Yes. Yeah. So that to me, if they have fingerprints and they could bring in that person, then it would definitely tie it to racketeering.
And
Um.
can I say some more things on that subject?
Yes.
Um,
Go. Mm-hmm.
for somebody to be okay, they say he blew it up because of Kid Cudi messing with Cassie, right? For
Yeah.
somebody to be that jealous and crazy, if he did it, that's crazy. I mean, that's intimidation. That's like you
Yeah.
could have killed somebody. And but just the intimidation and the fear of going outside or hearing your car getting blown up, that's on another level mentally, man. That's tough. That's really
That
tough.
is tough.
So yeah,
That
yeah.
is tough.
So
Yeah.
hopefully he didn't do it because man, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's crazy.
It seems like
That
he
is crazy.
did from him messing with Cassie and old
Right.
boy being jealous. It kind of goes
Mm-hmm.
hand in hand, but again, it's not what you know; it's what you can prove in court. So I'll leave it at
That's
that.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So, yeah, I guess that remains to be seen or
Yeah.
proved, as you said.
Right.
Uh, and another question that I want to pose in this whole criminal trial of Sean Combs is this other guy that the prosecution call, they call him the Punisher,
The
and
Punisher.
he was an exotic dancer,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he said that he was paid to have sex with Cassie,
Mm.
but he did not come from. They didn't transport him. He was already in New
Who-
York. He's a
In
New
New
York.
York.
Yeah, he hails out of Brooklyn.
Who paid him? Did
Um,
Cassie pay him?
uh,
I
I
think
think he
Cassie
said,
gave him the money.
"Oh, maybe Cassie gave him the money. I don't know,
Yeah.
Cassie or Diddy or whoever."
Yeah.
But he was saying that he didn't come from out of state. He wasn't transported, and he was just paid to have sex with Cassie. So that's just what he did,
Yeah.
and then he
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
And then he left. But they call him the Punisher, and he's an exotic dancer.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Man, that was some freaky stuff going on over there with Puffy. Puffy, that's some freak. That's the definition of freak off. To get
it
somebody,
is.
I guess, was Cassie his girl or his fling? I'm
No,
talking about Puffy.
no.
Was that his
Oh,
girl?
Puffy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that was his girl, and
So you gonna hire a outside dude to come in and have sex with your girl? Man, that's
yeah, that's
woo. That's different there from where I'm from. I'm from the big city of Memphis. We don't get down like that. But that's tough. That's a tough situation. And the Punisher. And he said he got that name not from the bedroom. He said he got that name from what did he say he got the name from? I'll think of it in a minute, but he didn't get it from the bedroom. The Punisher. No, he was a basketball player. He was a former basketball player that played street ball and basketball, and then he stopped and he did that, to make money. So that's um,
oh,
that's where he got that name from, the Punisher. But yeah,
the
that's
Punisher.
that's an awful situation there, boy. Man.
That's awful situation.
So
Yeah,
Puffy
and
needs some outside help.
yes, he hired he
Outside help?
allegedly he allegedly hired outside help
Allegedly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
for
Okay.
these freak offs.
That
Yeah,
may be I think that's documented, I think, that he hired that
that
guy to
yeah,
have sex with her. But is that
right.
is that a crime?
No, that in and of itself, from what I know, is not a crime. The crime, I mean, I think they brought him on because they brought him on to show the pattern. If
Oh,
there's
okay,
more
okay,
people to come, so they're
okay.
showing the pattern
Man,
of this whole racketeering
yeah,
enterprise.
yeah. That's
Yeah,
man. I mean, let me do a disclaimer right quick. My mom was a victim of domestic violence, and I 1,000,000% don't condone that on any women, any man. To me, this is just Vincent Askew. Any man that hits a woman is weak to me, because a woman most of the time is not strong enough to protect themselves, and I was just raised that you shouldn't hit women. So when I say stuff and it goes against like what people think, that don't mean that I'm taking a side. It's just my opinion. So just want to throw that out there.
that's good to know that you can speak from that point of view.
Yeah,
It's always good to get a better understanding of the podcasters, how they're thinking, what
yes,
their own experiences are, in
right.
relation to a particular situation.
Yeah,
So thanks for
yes.
sharing that. Thanks for sharing
Yeah,
that.
more than welcome.
Um, and then
Go
go
ahead.
ahead.
No, you get it.
Oh, okay. Another point of reference or um, another witness actually, that they called on was the psychologist. The
Mm.
prosecution brought in the psychologist. They paid her. They did pay her. It was discovered that they paid her.
The prosecution
Um,
paid her?
yes, they paid her. The state paid her to testify. She's a psychologist.
That's
It
kind of
took it.
fishy.
It took right, but the way she saw it is like, okay, you want me to come to court to testify. That's taken away from my
Her
work,
business.
my
Okay.
day-to-day operation. So I have to be compensated.
What about the
That's the
Punisher? Did
way.
they pay the Punisher? They didn't pay the
No,
Punisher.
they didn't
Did they?
pay.
Oh, okay.
Well, they I don't know. I don't know, but she clearly stated
Okay.
that they paid her. So
They
I don't
paid
know if
her.
they paid the
Now you can
Punisher.
take
I
that
don't know.
two different ways. Now, if I'm on the defense side, I can take that like, okay, did they pay everybody or just particular people to get certain information? It may not be true, but that's what I'll be thinking. Get certain information
Right,
from them.
but here's the caveat with that. They're saying when the defense call in their witnesses, some of those witnesses were paid also, or will be paid
Is
to
that a
testify.
fact?
Well, it has yet to be seen. That's what they
Oh, okay.
said.
So the defense
Yeah,
has paid. Okay, okay.
yeah,
All
they're
right.
paying. So
I know. I don't
apparently
understand that now. I thought that was sort of like, is coercion the right word, or
or
trying to take
bribery. I don't know what it
bribery,
is.
or. But anyway, go ahead. That just ran across my mind at that time. Go ahead.
Right.
What's your question?
So the psychologist, this her name was Shay
Okay.
Shay Hayes, and they said she's very very effective. She goes to these domestic violent places, and she teach some of the workers there how to handle the abuse that
The
they
abuse in the
endured.
workplace. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
she said you never ever you're never supposed to ask um someone that was abused, why didn't you leave? She said that's the worst thing you can ask them.
Why?
And yeah, she said you don't ask them that because you're perpetuating their hurt. When you ask them that, and then they will clam up. She said that psychologically these women, or sometimes men that are abused, the trauma is so heavy that it just becomes like a vicious cycle. They get
Yeah.
like addicted to that.
And a lot of
They get
times
addicted
people
to that.
feel like, I'm sorry to interrupt, but a lot of times people feel like they may not be able to make it on their own, or the
Right.
money, it's just, or the dependency
A
on
lot
that
of things.
person. I'm used to them,
Yeah.
so I agree with that
And
part.
and yeah, and she said they also become very fearful. A lot of these women and
Oh,
some men, they keep going back because fear has taken over. The
mm,
fear of it all.
wow.
Yeah. So and so she said you're never supposed to ask why didn't you leave, because she said it's whole a whole slew of reasons why they
Why they
don't
did
leave, or
not
why they
leave.
leave and come back.
Right, right. A
So
lot of them leave and come back, actually.
and come back.
I
Right.
got a
Yeah. And
question
she
for
was
you, kind of off the subject of that. On the subject, but off the subject. A lot of times, well, I think a lot of times that a lot of men grew up, and uncles or this person or that person always told them that if a lady abused you, you never talk about that, because it's perceived to being weak. What are your thoughts on that?
right. Well, I think that no, I think if a man is abused by a lady, I think he should say it. I think he should say it
To
to
who?
someone. I mean,
You can't say it
abuse.
to partners. Who you gonna say it to?
You gotta say it to somebody. You say it to your brother. You say it to your uncle. You say it to the police. If how bad is the abuse? You
Mm,
say it to somebody. You don't internalize. Abuse is abuse. Doesn't
yeah.
matter who the abuser is.
A lot of times
It
we
doesn't.
internalize certain things, because we're thinking
Yeah.
that we're thinking. I mean, it may sound barbaric or what do you call it, old thing or whatever. But we're thinking that okay, you pick up the phone, call the police. Hey, I want to report my girl. She just beat me up.
Beat
You
me up.
know,
Right. Yeah.
and you know
Yeah.
I'm laughing, but that happens.
It
That
does.
happens, and you know, so that's just I think that's a mental thing as well. Something that here at the Urban Playbook, we're gonna let people know that those cliches and those old things, we got to cut that. You know, we got to cut that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
new way of
Because,
thinking.
if you, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, if you get cut, you bleed.
You
Well, this
believe?
is a man.
Ooh,
He's not going to bleed,
that's some New
you
Jersey
know?
bars right there. You do. If you get cut, you will bleed for real, and that's
You
men
will
or
bleed.
women. A lot of
That's
times,
men or
men we
women.
bleed inside. You
Oh,
never see
oh,
it, and I
okay.
think that that's worse bleeding than anything because we internalize it, and it gets here, and but you just keep going. You keep going. You know, it's
You
just
keep going.
sound crazy to some people, but that's the way it is with a lot of men. You know,
Wow. Mm,
yeah,
that's
it's the way
that's
it is.
that's interesting, though.
Yes.
So anyway, yeah, back to the psychologist, Miss Shay Hayes is her name, and she was connecting how all this is a part of being coerced. That Cassie was being coerced, whether she was when she was with Sean or when she wasn't with Sean. Mentally, she was being coerced.
How? I
Coercion.
mean, like not how, but so. Well, I understand. Okay, she thought. I guess she thought the lifestyle was so good, or the money, or the fear, or a combination of things. So she
Combination.
felt like
Yeah.
she had to do whatever he said, to kind of keep him
Right.
at bay,
To
so to
keep
say.
him at bay. Right.
Yeah. If it's
Right.
true. If it's true.
Right. Allegedly. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly. So yeah, so they were saying that her testimony was helpful, is the word they used, was helpful for the jury to get a
Okay.
better understanding of how this domestic violence works.
Mm.
And that's
I have a question for you. Um, I'm not saying that it didn't happen because the video was horrible, but the video is not. I get it. Is it a part of racketeering or RICO Act or domestic abuse? That's domestic abuse, isn't it? But I have a question. They said at one time he was dating like six women at a time, right? So where are the other women? Are they coming to testify, or they're not? She's the only one that's testifying.
no, there's more. I'm assuming there's more. I don't know, but uh, they said the trial will supposedly is supposed to run for 8 weeks. So they got
No,
about, it's been about how many weeks now? 2 weeks this has been going
about
on?
two, yeah,
Yeah.
about
So
two.
that's 6 more weeks. Like they probably will go all through June and
Mm,
wrap up sometime maybe around the 4th of July or something like
wow,
that.
wow. I have a question about mental, because I believe mental health, mental awareness. That's another thing we need to talk about a lot in the black communities or any community of color. Um, when Puffy goes from court, I know he's throwing up the heart sign to his mom and family, and
He is. He is.
you put on a different face. When he goes to his cell at night and the lights are out, the phone, you can't get on the phone, anything. What do you think his mental is? His mind?
Uh, I don't know, but if I had to guess, I would think it's in a very dark place. That's
Yeah,
what I would think. His
yeah,
mental is like it's like an old person. It's just slowly deteriorating.
yeah, yeah. I agree.
That's what I think. Yeah,
I
it's
agree.
it's
And
in very
I think I mean, as strong as you can be as strong as you want to be, but when you by yourself, that's when you really talk to you. I think he's suicidal.
yeah.
I think he's probably sorrowful for what he done. I mean, people may not believe that, but he probably feels really, really bad and wish he didn't do it. Of course. Not just because he got caught. Well, it may be because he got caught, but sometimes you can get to a point where everything is taken away, like it is with him. And you know,
Mm-hmm.
the Puffy from 5, 6, 7, 8 years old Puffy, that's totally different than today. That real you comes back, you know. So
Yeah,
that's got to be
it
a
does.
tough situation, you know,
It
tough
does.
situation.
But uh I'm thinking I forgot what Bible verse is that it speaks to when much is given or
Much is required.
when you have a lot
Yeah, to
or
whom
when
much
much
is given,
yeah,
much is required. Yeah,
much is required.
wow.
So he was given a lot, you know?
He was given a whole lot.
So
Yeah.
according to the Bible, if for people that believe in the Bible, much more was required of him.
Yes. Yes.
Is
Yeah.
that right? Or
Yeah. Yeah. It is, and you know that's true. When God blesses you with something, um, you know things are required from you. That's just the bottom line, you
okay.
know. And but it's no but to that. But on the flip side of that, if he changes, he could affect millions of people. If he changes, think about it. He could
Mhm.
affect
Mhm.
millions of people if he changed,
In
you know,
a
in a
positive
positive way.
way.
Right, right, right. In a positive way.
Mhm.
So, man, that's a tough subject. And it's tough because it's tough, I'm sure, for a woman. What are your feelings? What are your true feelings on Puffy, on Sean Combs? Raw and uncut on the Urban Playbook. What are your true feelings from a woman's point of view?
Oh man.
Because I think men and women
Well,
think different on certain things.
they do. They do.
Okay,
And
okay.
I just think Puffy was he started when he's once he started getting money on a regular basis,
Yeah.
he just became a monster. That's what I think. He just
Hmm.
became a monster. He became a monster,
Explain
and
that. Explain that.
the money made him feel like he
Invincible.
was invincible.
Superman.
Invincible, yeah,
Yeah. And it will.
and and
It
and
will.
and not to this.
If you're not grounded and it no, forget the grounded. You gotta have somebody around you that's gonna say and ain't think they're not thinking about the money. Man, that ain't right. Man, you shouldn't do that. Even if you don't talk to them no more and get mad at them, you got to have somebody around you like that. Or you will slip
Right.
into that tunnel.
Yeah. You have to be able to, have the courage to say when somebody is wrong, you got to tell them. You should
They're
tell them.
wrong. They're
And I
wrong.
know,
That's a
and
real
nobody,
friend.
nobody told Puffy for a long time
Because
that
they were thinking
man,
about
what
their
you doing?
paper. They were thinking about their money. That means you don't have no real friends. I mean, a real friend, they're gonna be like,
Would have
look,
told you.
I don't agree with that. Period.
And,
He may not talk to you for a minute, but who cares? At least you told him,
right.
you know. But anyway, I'm sorry for interrupting. You were saying
Yeah.
Puffy, the monster part. Go back to that.
Yeah. I just believe once he started making money, he became like this invincible monster in his head.
Mm,
Um, I also think that Puffy suffers from whether he had the money or not. I think he suffers from some real mental issues that he never ever addressed. His mother or nobody addressed because his father was in a criminal sort of world. He seen his
his
father.
father was.
Yeah, his
Mm.
father, if I recall correctly, was a drug dealer also.
Oh,
You
okay,
know,
okay.
so Puffy,
Wow.
this is what he saw growing
Grew up
up,
around it. Yeah, yeah.
and that plays a heavy, heavy, heavy price on your mental, the
Your
way you think.
decision making
Yes,
too. Yeah,
your decision making. It plays a big, big part of that, and
yeah.
so that's how he grew up, and I think that was never really fully addressed.
Mm.
So I think some of his mental just it's just out of order, and he just never sought help for that. I mean, I think he knew it all the time. I think he knew it,
You think he
but
knew it?
I think he knew it.
Hmm.
I think he knew it, but again, his pride wouldn't allow him to,
Say I
check
need
in with
help.
anybody.
I need help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he
That's a
didn't
tougher
check in
thing to
with him.
say sometimes. Admit that you need
Yeah,
help. Can I give
right.
you not a flip side because I agree with what you're saying. Can I give you a flip side of that? The flip side
Sure.
is when you got a lot of money, you have a lot of vultures coming at you. You have people coming at you,
Okay.
family, friends, quote unquote, so called friends, and they trying to get you. They ain't never telling you no about nothing. You need to watch people. People out there that's listening, watch people around you that never tell you no about nothing. I don't have to worry about that with Kathy because she tell me no all the time. But anyway, he has no people. he has he well, when you make money and you in the limelight, women come at you. The bigger groupies than women. Dudes ain't gonna like this, but they are. You see dudes wearing dudes jerseys and all of that, which is cool. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I had dudes hang around me just to be around me to get the scraps. You know what I mean? Not the scraps. Don't take it wrong, women out there. Like if I'm going out, I meet a lady, they'll take whoever with them. Whoever with them. It don't matter who they are or whatever. They just there for the ride. And a lot of times, people with the money, which is dumb looking back on it, you're paying for everything. You're paying for everything, for everybody in the group. Um, but you got to realize if somebody get in trouble, if somebody got drugs, if somebody do this and that, they're not going to put them in the paper. They're going to put you in the paper. You understand what I'm saying? And but I
Mm-hmm.
think that he has so many people coming at him, and he let so many people do stuff that I don't know what happened. I mean, woo, I don't know what happened with old Puff, but and I grew up on Puff and Biggie. But hey, I just whatever justice is, because I question that in court sometimes. Whatever justice is, I hope it just be done, the way God want it done. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yep. Yep. His will be done. And
yes.
then the last question or topic regarding this P. Diddy trial is pertains to when Cassie's mother testified. Her
Woo.
mother was a witness for the prosecution, and one thing, the defense didn't the defense did
No, you're
not
not
even
gonna
cross
question.
examine.
You're not gonna question her. No, you want
No.
her to just,
They Yeah,
yeah.
they didn't question her at all. They said she was very direct, she was
Mm.
very straightforward, and she was very convincing.
They
That's
said
what,
Puff didn't even look at her. But how could you?
yeah,
I couldn't look at her either. If it was me, there's no way I
yeah,
could look at the mom. I wish I could put my hand up like this, but I'm laughing, but it's not funny. And God,
yeah,
I feel for her. I have
yeah.
a daughter. I have two sons. I have a daughter. To see my daughter on that stand and to hear and to know, because I'm sure she went to her mom sometime. I'm sure she probably did. To hear
Yeah,
that,
she did. She
that would have
did.
crushed, that would have crushed me, and they would have had to have security for me walking to the booth and walking up out of court. Because I would have probably got that puffy.
Hmm.
I probably would have went to jail getting,
Hmm.
driving that puffy. But
Yeah, yeah,
that's a tough situation. Tough
yeah.
situation.
And me also being a mother, I have a son and a daughter, and they're when you have kids, even though they're different sexes, they're still your kids.
They're still your
My
kids.
son is
Exactly.
my son is my son. My daughter is my daughter.
Right.
That my aunt used to describe it like the fingers on your hand. If
Mm.
one of your fingers get cut off, it's gonna hurt, no matter what finger it is,
No matter
the
what
thumb or the
finger it is.
pinky.
You
It's
know
gonna hurt. So
what? I'm laughing. I'm from Memphis. We got some of the best rappers around. A lot of people don't agree with that, but I do. You from Jersey, New York, and you just spitting. You spitting freestyle bars that be every now and then. But yeah, you're right. You got five fingers. Say that again.
yeah, my
You-
aunt shared that with me. She said you have five fingers, And no matter what finger you cut off, it's going to hurt. So
It's
you can
gonna
look
hurt.
at your children
Yeah,
in that way.
yeah, yeah.
You can look at your
Man,
children in that way. And so I'm saying Cassie's mother, she had to get up there. She had to walk past Puffy to get up, on that
yeah,
witness stand. And
yeah. That takes
I'm
a
saying putting
strong woman. Yeah.
myself in that situation, yeah, security would have to be on both sides
That's what I'm saying.
because
That's what I'm saying. Most
yeah,
people, most people, most
I probably would have, I would have wanted to get a lick
you,
off or
yeah,
something.
you would have guessed, you would have did, yeah, you would have wanted to do something to him. And
Right.
God, that's tough.
And
And I
and
don't
she
like
was,
it. Go ahead, go ahead.
no, I'm just saying she was strong. She was direct. She was, she had to put a lien on her house to get $20,000
To give
to
him,
pay to this man. Yeah, this man had millions of dollars,
yeah.
400 million, almost
Did
a billion.
he gave it?
She
Did
had to
he give
put
it back
a
to her?
lien, huh?
He gave it
Yes,
back to her, but that's
he
not the
gave it
point
back to
though.
her.
For
Well,
her to go through that stress to put a lien on our house, that's
yeah,
come on, man. That's petty. That's petty stuff there. So why did he do that? Why did she have to do that? Did they say?
yeah, because he said that he was going to put the sex tapes out of him and Cassie, and the
What?
mother didn't want that for her daughter.
Wow. Whew,
Yes,
man,
so that's
that's
why
tough.
she did it.
Yeah, that's tough there. That's tough.
That's
I feel
really,
for that
really, really
man.
tough.
I feel for her. And a lot of people are bad mouthing Cassie for what she did and this and that. But I actually feel for her too. Because she's married,
I
she's
do.
pregnant, and this the mental part of anything is tough, man. So I'm sending my prayers to her too, you know. So
Yeah, yeah.
man,
That she make whatever
she
adjustments she
healed,
need to make at this
heal, yeah,
time.
heal and move forward,
Heal.
and get that
Yes, you do.
confidence back. Because a lot of times when we get beat
Right.
down, we lose something. We lose confidence. We lose our self, confidence in self. I'm sure I'm not the only one that's done
Mm-hmm.
it before. I'm sure there's millions of people out there that have. So hope she get that back. But man,
Yep.
that trial is that's a very, very interesting trial. There's millions of people, if not billions, watching and paying attention to it. I wish it was on TV, but it's not. And
It's not.
you have something else on that?
No, just to wrap it up,
Okay.
I know I'm thinking like if we took a poll right now, of both men and women, I just think women would be more it would be some men in that group, but I
Guilty.
just think women, huh?
Women would do what?
Women would be Team Cassie. There would be
Okay.
more women that would be Team Cassie,
Okay.
and I just think it's just because women, and they seen the video when she was in the hotel, and they've seen all this other evidence that has come up, and even though at times she did go back, women have women know how to connect with each other on that level.
Okay.
They know how to connect with each other on that level when they see abuse or
Yeah. A lot of
misgivings.
men, some men, well, a lot of men may be Team Cassie. A lot of men would be Team Puffy. Not for they
Yeah, a lot
wouldn't
of men would.
condone men like me. We don't condone that hitting, that beating, and all that. But
Right,
she went back to she called somebody back to have sex and all of that on her own, and then she kept going back. That's just a man's mindset, not knowing the psychological stuff and all of that the psychiatrists say, which is true. But
right.
a lot of times,
Mm-hmm.
and then a lot of men that's been to court, they know how the court system is. They know how the government is, how they try to set up, and they've set up black men since the beginning of time. So a lot of men
Mm-hmm.
will be going for black men or men of color
Yeah,
because
right.
the courthouse
They
is
would.
no place for men of color at all. So
Wow.
yeah, you love great show, great content, and looking forward to giving you guys more and more each week. We're gonna be very informative. So hang it up with us, and we're looking forward to it. We're excited.
Stay tuned.
Yes, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. All right. Bye for
Later.
now.
Bye.